Hi, I'm Don Dawson. Today we're going to learn about fire extinguishers. Burning wood and paper can be doused with a bucket of water. A small gasoline fire can be smothered with sand or dirt. A kitchen grease fire can be extinguished with baking soda. But often the quickest way to put out a small fire is with a portable fire extinguisher. Fires can break out anywhere at any time. OSHA regulations, state ordinances, and local fire codes require industrial facilities, office complexes, and public buildings to have portable fire extinguishers located near all potential fire hazards. The Department of Transportation requires that all commercial vehicles be equipped with extinguishers as well. Extinguishers should be mounted on hangers or in marked fire extinguisher cabinets where they can be clearly seen. Never store an extinguisher on the floor, in a closet, or behind furniture, plants, or decorations. When a fire starts, there is no time to search for an extinguisher that works. They must be within easy reach and ready to go. Fire extinguisher inspections and maintenance should be a major part of your facility's fire prevention policy. Check extinguishers at least once a month to make sure that they are in good shape. Look them over weekly if they are located outdoors. When examining an extinguisher, make sure that the pressure gauge shows that it is fully charged. The locking pin and plastic tamper seal are in place. The hose and horn are unobstructed and in good shape, and the metal parts are free of corrosion. Never test an extinguisher to see if it is working. Once the valve has been opened, the extinguisher will lose pressure and may empty completely within a few days. You should also check the service tag to see when the extinguisher is due for a professional inspection. Fire codes require extinguishers to be inspected by an authorized service technician annually and to have their cylinders pressure tested at least every 12 years. Some types of extinguishers must be pressure tested every 5 years. Fire extinguishers are designed to put out small fires before they grow out of control. But putting out fires with an extinguisher is not always easy and can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. To use an extinguisher effectively, it's helpful to know what causes things to burn. Fires start with heat, which is the source of ignition. Heat can be generated by many things, including open flames, chemical reactions, faulty electrical circuits, and overheated equipment. Once a fire is burning, it produces more heat and grows even larger. As long as there is enough fuel and oxygen, a fire will continue to spread. Fuel can include combustible solids like paper, wood, and some metals, flammable liquids, and ignitable gases. It's the vapors coming off a substance, mixed with oxygen in the air, that burn. Some materials are always giving off flammable vapors, while others have to be heated for vapors to appear. For example, you have to apply heat to get wood to burn. The heat causes the wood to decompose, creating ash and flammable vapors. The vapors then mix with oxygen and ignite. Since fire is a chain reaction between heat, fuel, and oxygen, a fire will continue to burn until the heat is removed, the fuel is used up, or the oxygen runs out. Fire extinguishers work by applying substances that interrupt the chain reaction, either cooling a fire, depriving it of oxygen, or both. There are many different types of substances that are used to extinguish fires. The most common include dry chemicals, carbon dioxide, foam, and water. To extinguish a fire, you must apply an extinguishing agent that is compatible with the materials that are burning. Using the wrong agent can be dangerous. For example, water works well for putting out fires that consist of burning paper or wood, but it can cause burning liquids to spread. Water also conducts electricity, so it should not be used where live wires or energized electrical equipment is located either. Fires have traditionally been separated into 4 classes to help identify what agents can be used to extinguish them. Class A, B, C, and D. Class A fires are fueled by ordinary combustible materials such as paper, cardboard, and wood. Water, foam, and some dry chemical agents can all be used to extinguish Class A fires. Water works by cooling the fire, while foams and dry chemicals cut off its supply of oxygen. Class B fires are fueled by ignitable gases and liquids such as gasoline and propane. Dry chemical, foam, and carbon dioxide extinguishers are used on these fires. Class C fires involve live electrical hazards. Most extinguishers that are safe to use on Class C fires are filled with non-conductive extinguishing agents, which helps to prevent electrocution. However, to be completely safe, you should cut the power before attempting to tackle the fire. Class D fires are fueled by combustible metals such as potassium, sodium, and magnesium. These fires are extremely dangerous and require Class D fire extinguishers to put them out. In addition to these 4 classes of fires, the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, has created a separate classification for commercial kitchen fires, Class K. Class K fire extinguishers contain agents that are formulated to be especially effective on fires involving extremely hot saturated fats and oils. You can tell what classes of fire an extinguisher can be used with by looking at its label. Extinguishers may be marked in 2 ways. Some extinguishers use simple colored shapes and fire class letters, but pictographs are used on most new extinguishers. These easy-to-understand symbols include a burning wastebasket and campfire to represent Class A fires, a flaming gasoline container for Class B, a burning electric plug and receptacle for Class C, and a fire in a frying pan for Class K. If a pictograph is crossed out with a red line, it indicates that the extinguisher is not suitable for that class of fire. The fire extinguishers in your facility should be appropriate for the hazards that are present. For example, a work area that contains wooden materials, flammable liquids, and electrical machinery should have extinguishers that are rated for Class A, B, and C fires. Multi-purpose dry chemical ABC fire extinguishers are by far the most popular type of extinguisher in use today. These extinguishers are filled with monoammonium phosphate, which smothers a fire by coating the fuel. Because ABC fire extinguishers can be used on all of the most common classes of fires, they are good for general locations, such as homes, hospitals, schools, offices, and small industrial facilities. However, multi-purpose dry chemical extinguishers are not the best choice for all situations, since they leave behind a mildly corrosive residue that can be difficult to clean up. Regular dry chemical extinguishers are a good choice for vehicles and home kitchens. These extinguishers use sodium bicarbonate, baking soda, which is non-corrosive, easy to sweep up, and highly effective on Class B and C fires. Baking soda fights fires in 2 ways. The heat from the fire causes the baking soda to decompose and release carbon dioxide gas, which displaces oxygen and smothers the fire. The residue that is left behind keeps the fire from reigniting by forming a barrier between the fuel and the oxygen. Carbon dioxide CO2 extinguishers are rated for Class B and C fires as well. The carbon dioxide pushes oxygen away from the fuel, but since the CO2 quickly disperses in the atmosphere, the blaze can easily reignite if it is not completely extinguished. The advantage of CO2 is that it doesn't leave any residue behind. It all evaporates. This makes these extinguishers good for use in computer rooms and other areas that contain expensive electronic equipment. Foam fire extinguishers are usually rated for Class A and Class B fires. The foam must be applied carefully so that it forms a blanket over the burning materials to cut off the fire's oxygen supply. Foam is extremely effective on burning flammable liquids and can also be used on a spill to prevent it from igniting. This makes foam extinguishers good for use in commercial garages and chemical storage facilities. When a building is burning, firefighters will usually use water or water-based foam to try and put it out. Water is one of the quickest and most effective ways to extinguish Class A fires. Air pressurized water extinguishers were once very common, but since they can only be used on Class A fires, most have been replaced by multi-purpose dry chemical ABC fire extinguishers. But since dry chemicals are not as effective on Class A materials, some facilities still use water extinguishers. Dry chemicals can't reach burning embers within a stack of paper, piece of wood, pile of sawdust, or mattress. But water can soak these materials and prevent a fire from reigniting. However, you must be careful not to use an air pressurized water extinguisher in the vicinity of live electrical equipment, since they are rated for Class A fires only. Water mist extinguishers, on the other hand, are rated for Class A and Class C fires. These extinguishers have nozzles that spray water in fine droplets. This makes them safer to use around electrical equipment because there is not a continuous stream of water for the electricity to follow. This makes water mist extinguishers ideal for hospitals, nursing homes, libraries, document storage centers, and other areas that contain both combustibles and low-voltage electrical hazards. In addition to the extinguishers that are used to handle Class A, B, and C fires, there are also extinguishers that can only be used on Class D fires, as well as extinguishers that are specifically designed to handle Class K fires. The important thing is that you know what types of fires can occur at your facility and which extinguishers to use to put them out. To be able to extinguish a fire, you have to act quickly. But before trying to tackle a blaze, you must make sure that no one is in danger and the fire department has been notified. Your safety is important too. So if at any time you feel that the situation is too dangerous, evacuate. Whether you choose to fight a fire or not, it is critical to close nearby doors and windows. This limits the amount of oxygen available to the fire and helps to keep it from growing. If the fire is behind a closed door, don't open it. This will feed oxygen to the fire and make the situation much worse. Smoke inhalation kills more people than flames, so be aware. Many common materials, including plastic, wool, and flammable liquids, produce toxic smoke when they burn, which can kill you in a couple of breaths. The size and location of a fire can also make it unsafe to fight. You won't be able to put out a fire if it is too large for the extinguisher that you have, or if it has spread into areas the extinguisher can't easily reach, such as ceilings or walls. If you feel that it's safe to try and extinguish a fire, approach it carefully with your back to an exit. A fire can double in size in seconds, so always make sure that you have a quick escape route. Before using an extinguisher, double check that it's correct for the materials that are burning. Position yourself within the extinguisher's effective range. The effective range can be found on the extinguisher's label. Many dry chemical ABC fire extinguishers require you to stand about 6 to 8 feet from the fire. Make sure that you hold the extinguisher upright. Then use the pass method to put the fire out. Pull the extinguisher's pin. Aim the nozzle at the base of the fire. Squeeze the trigger and sweep from side to side with a slow, steady motion. Remember, extinguishing agents put fires out by either cooling the burning material, depriving it of oxygen, or both. So keep the nozzle pointed at the base of the fire and make sure that you hit the fuel, not just the flames. If you are dealing with flammable liquids, be careful not to splash the spill. This will spread the fire and make the situation worse. As the fire gets smaller, step forward to stay within the extinguisher's effective range. But be careful where you walk. You don't want to get any flammable material on your shoes or clothing. Continue to use the extinguisher until it empties completely. The size and type of the extinguisher determines how long it will last. A small dry chemical extinguisher may be used up in as little as 10 to 15 seconds. As you apply an extinguishing agent, a tremendous amount of smoke can develop. So know your escape route blindfolded. Get close to the ground if the smoke is making it hard to see or breathe. Once the extinguisher is empty, you need to get to safety, even if the fire appears to have been extinguished. Smoke and the possibility that the fire may reignite makes it dangerous to stay. As you evacuate, place the extinguisher on its side in an out-of-the-way area so no one will trip over it. Using a fire extinguisher may seem pretty straightforward, but in an emergency, it can be more difficult than you might think. To be truly prepared, it's good to have some real-life experience. So contact your local fire department and ask them if they offer hands-on fire extinguisher training. Fire extinguishers can save property and lives, so you need to know how to use them. Let's review. Know what classes of fires might occur at your facility and which extinguishers you can use to fight them. Make sure that extinguishers are mounted in plain sight, checked regularly, and inspected annually. Sound the alarm and call 911 before trying to tackle a blaze. Always have an escape plan and get out if the situation becomes too dangerous. Remember the pass method. And talk to your local fire department about getting hands-on experience with extinguishers. Fires can start anywhere at any time, but with the proper training and the right extinguisher, you may be able to extinguish a small fire before it gets out of control.